2024 is for standing on business. Be honest with yourself when you're upgrading your marks. It's like the 23rd of Jan and I'm taking a gap year. Yeah, guys, I am not going to Cape Town. These planes.
Hold on. I can't.
Cardi, why you ignoring me?
Hi guys, welcome back or welcome to K.com. I am Mikaya Macheke and this is my YouTube channel. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. And if you're new here, you definitely want to hit the subscribe button to become an official member of the Compliments, but guys, 2024 is for standing on business. In 2023, I took a gap year. And yeah, I've decided to make a video just explaining why I took a gap year. I posted a TikTok and people have been asking me questions under that TikTok. I'll put the TikTok here. So yeah, people have been asking me questions on that TikTok about upgrading and taking a gap year and all that. So I decided to make a YouTube video and answer some questions. So I'm not even gonna waste any more time, guys. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So I'm gonna start off with the reason I took a gap year. Okay guys, so first of all, for me, I feel like from a young age, I always knew I wanted to take a gap year because like high school is a lot, guys, and we all deserve a break. Like life is not always about go. Sometimes just need to like have a break, a year where you can just, you know, collect yourself and bring yourself towards yourself. So already in like grade 9, guys, I was going down. You know, grade 9 maths is like, hey, I was going down. So I had already knew from then that it's looking like I must, you know, take a gap year. So my parents are not too keen on it. I did bring it up there and there from grade 9 until like the end of matric, and they weren't so keen on it, right? So my mom encouraged me to like apply to at least one varsity. I applied to CPUT, and I think it was a diploma in food science and technology. I'll write it somewhere.
Hi guys, so to avoid confusion, the reason why I applied for a diploma in consumer science and not for a degree in food science is because at CPUT, in order to study food science, you need life science, and I didn't take life science as a subject in grade 10.
Yeah, so I got accepted, and now it was like, am I going, am I not going, right? Keep in mind, my parents still want me to go to school. So December of 2022, I went to Cape Town with my parents and my sister. And we stayed there for 3 weeks. During these 3 weeks, it was supposed to be a time for me to just establish myself in Cape Town, get used to the area and whatever. Because remember, in everyone's heads, I was supposed to start going to school there in February of 2023, right? Okay, cool. So fast forward, I had to come back home to fetch my results and like the last few things, right? Guys, when I tell you, before I even came home, like during my 3 weeks stay in Cape Town, I didn't enjoy the place. Like the first week was fun because we were doing tourist things most of the time. But like when I started to sink in that I actually have to live here, I was like, I don't know if I'll be able to do this. Because first of all, the standard of living in Cape Town is quite high. And second of all, I was thinking to myself, do I really want to spend 3 years doing a diploma when I could just wait a year and then do my bachelor's next year, you know? Because obviously I hadn't applied to any other university. So I was like, no, I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know if I enjoy the area, the weather, just everything wasn't aligning about Cape Town. It's nice when you go for a week for holidays and whatever, but the thought of permanently living there, going to school there, also when I went to CPUT, I was just like, nah, this is not for me. So I came back home and I received my results. When I got my results, all my marks were fine except for one mark. It's one subject. So that subject was physics, guys. I got a 59 for physics. When I saw my marks, I was very happy. But you know, seeing a 59 is like, yo, it's so heartbreaking because you were so close. After I got my results, I went to school to fetch my paper, and I told my parents that, guys, I'm not going back to Cape Town because my marks were great for me to go back to Cape Town and to study the diploma, right? But I was like, I'm not going back. And when I checked my dream degree that I want to do, BSc in food science, it's literally only in 3 places, right? So CPUT, it's a diploma.
Hi guys, I got them confused again. So food science is a bachelor's degree at CPUT, but I couldn't apply for it since I didn't do life science. And then consumer science is a diploma degree that I actually applied for.
And it's not even food science alone, it's food science and technology. And then at UP, it's a BSc in food science, and then at Stellenbosch as well. So like for me, Stellenbosch and Cape Town are the same thing, right? And I hadn't even applied to go to Stellies in any case. At Stellenbosch, a 50% in physics is required in order to do food science. So guys, had I applied to go to Stellenbosch, I would have been fine in terms of my marks. But keep in mind that Stellenbosch is also in Cape Town, so it also wouldn't have worked. So I decided that, okay, if I'm really gonna study this year, because I'm not going back to Cape Town, let me try and go to UP and try my luck, right? Because remember, I didn't apply, guys, to UP. I didn't finish my application. It was like half, because in my head I was just like, Kirigeni, I don't want to go to school, you know. So I didn't finish my UP application, and I sent the dean an email, right? This was in late Jan of 2023, after I got my results and whatever. I sent the dean an email and I was like, can I please come? I didn't apply last year, but you know, 1, 2, 3, I have a passion, you know, all those things you say in the email. Then she was like, okay, come to the school and speak to the department, the faculty that my degree is in. I must come and the department will help me. So I came, and you know, the guy was like, unfortunately, we cannot help you. He showed me the list of people that are still on the waiting list. People that had like 70s for physics were on the waiting list and all that. So he was like, unfortunately, he cannot help me, especially because number one, I did not apply fully. Like my application was not fully submitted. And number two, 59%. And guys, the requirement to study food science at UP was 60% minimum. But people were there with 70s and they were still on the waiting list. Yeah, guys, when I left there, I think that's when, like, because I went with my dad, I think that's where he accepted that this gap year, it's looking like the way. Because I am not going to Cape Town. Also, the guy at UP, he was like, if you really want to study food science, I suggest that you take a gap year and just upgrade your marks, right? Or I could go to... what was he saying? I must go to the finance department. My marks are perfect to do like something in the finance department. And I'm like, no, I do not want to do anything that's got to do with finance, you know. And I'm really proud that I stood that ground, because I feel like a lot of people would have just taken it for the sake of like, let me just go to varsity, let me just do it, I'll change next year, you know, all of those things. So I'm really glad that I didn't give in and go to this finance department. I got back home, I told my mom, and I think we all just agreed that like it's looking like it's time to take a gap year. And then yeah, so now it's like the 23rd of Jan and I'm taking a gap year. So I was in an IEB school, so as soon as I got home, I went onto the website, and I think on the same page where my results are, there was a button that I could click for upgrading my marks. So I'm gonna go into like the whole upgrading process now. And one thing about upgrading, you need to be able to be honest with yourself when you're upgrading your marks. If you are getting like 30s and 40s throughout the year for whatever subject you want to upgrade, you need to be practical. You can't sign up for upgrading in May. Rather sign up for November, because if you were getting 30s throughout the year, then it's a high possibility that you were not understanding the subject, so you need more time to be able to process the information and learn, right? And also depending on how many subjects you're upgrading. If you're upgrading more than 2 subjects as well, then I suggest that you should like choose to upgrade in November. So if you're upgrading in November, then you're gonna write with that class. So for example, I'm class of 2022, right? If I had chosen to write in November of 2023, then I was gonna write with the class of 2023. That makes sense. The same paper as them, right? But in my case, I got a 59% for physics, and I was only upgrading one subject, which was physics, because all my other marks were fine. My 59 does not mean that I wasn't understanding the subject. It just meant that I was lacking in a few places. So that's how I decided to write in May, because number one, it's only one subject, and number two, I feel like I understood the subject. It was just a matter of building onto the foundation, just to get to the level that I need to be in order to take food science, you know? So I applied to write in May/June. You write between those 2 months. And yeah, you pay. How much did we pay? I forgot. But you pay to upgrade, by the way, guys. I got extra lessons. So when you're upgrading, get a tutor or some sort of extra help in order to help you to learn. So I got extra lessons. I didn't go to get a tutor, like a private tutor that came and helped me at home, but I did extra physics lessons at this other place called Master Maths/Master Physics. Yeah, so I went there 3 times a week from about March, I think, or Feb. Yeah, mid-Feb until I wrote in May. I went 3 times a week. And the days where I didn't go, they either gave me homework, right, to do at home, classwork and homework to do at home. And I also did a lot of past papers, guys. When you are writing up, when you're upgrading, you have so much time on your hands. You need to do almost all the past papers. The previous year's May, June exams, and also the November final exams. You need to do almost all of them from about, I'd say 2016, 2017 until 2023. Well, for me, it was until 2022. But for you guys watching, it'll be until 2023. So yeah, just do all of them as much as you can and learn as much as possible. Focus on the topics that you knew. This is what brought me down in the final. Oh, by the way, I also applied for a remark and my mark didn't change. So if you know that you're gonna upgrade, don't even waste your time trying to remark and stuff, because you pay for that as well. So that's one thing that I wouldn't have done. I would have just upgraded from the get-go and yeah, applied for a rewrite. 2023, I then spent 4 months of the year studying literally physics Monday to Friday, the whole 4 months, right? Then somewhere in May, like mid-May, somewhere there, I can't remember these dates, guys, but mid-May, I wrote my physics paper 1 and paper 2. By the way, when I was studying, I started with paper 1 because I know that's what brought me down. Paper 1 is like proper physics, and then chemistry, I did it after. It went much better than when I wrote my final, because obviously I had more time to learn. I had more time to understand. I knew like all my definitions off by heart because I had time. If you're gonna upgrade your marks, every opportunity you have, don't just chill and be like, it's just one subject. Work every single week. I promise you guys, you can never be over prepared. There's no such thing as being over prepared. Even if you finish all the past papers, get more class test on the internet from other schools. Just keep on learning until you have to write. Don't wait for that week before you're writing and then now you're rushing. Because truth be told, the outcome of your marks is going to be the same of what you got in the finals, when you got your results. If you really want your marks to improve, then you have to earn it and work for it. Right? I wrote in May. Other subjects were still writing until like the end of June. So I got my results around July, right? I won't disclose what mark I got, but I will say that like my marks improved by about 10 to 15%. I was very happy about that and I was able to apply. Here's a disclaimer, guys. If you want to go to UP and you're upgrading, then you might have to look at upgrading in May/June, because UP, you cannot apply unless your marks fit the requirements for that degree. So for example, with me, I wanted to apply for UP as soon as they opened in April, right? Keep in mind, in April, I still had to write in May, right? So I wanted to apply in April for BSc in food science and then also make them aware that I'm upgrading, so my physics mark is going to change. So as I was applying, they wanted my physics mark and I obviously had to write 59 because I hadn't upgraded yet. Tell me why this thing it didn't want to go through. Busy saying that I don't match the requirements. So I sent them an email saying I'm upgrading my physics marks in May, and I'll still have to wait for my results and all that. So can I still apply, and then I'll send you guys my new mark later on in the year when I get them. They were like, nope, unfortunately, we don't do that. You have to apply with the marks you currently have. If you don't match the requirements, then sorry for you. So yeah, luckily for me, because I wrote in May/June, I was able to get my upgraded mark quick enough to apply for UP before the application date closed. So if you want to apply for UP and you don't want to take a second gap year, I suggest that you try and upgrade in May. Because yeah, guys, I was so stressed because I was like, what if the application dates close and I don't have my results? It was so stressful, but at the end of the day, it all worked out and I was able to apply in time. I'm not trying to like bring anyone down. If you wrote in November and you're trying to apply to UP, maybe try call them and let them know that you're upgrading and whatever. And yeah, they might have a little bit of mercy on you because they understand that like you can't take a second gap year, you know. But just so it doesn't happen, try your best to work hard and just write in May/June. I applied around July. I finished my application. I submitted my application. I applied to both UP and Stellenbosch because even though I didn't want to go to Cape Town again, it was just a thing of maximizing my possibilities of going to school. Because I remembered that time when I went in 2022 December when I went to UP and they were showing me how many people are on the waiting list with 70s, guys. Competition is really high. Maximize your opportunities by applying to as many varsities as possible. Just because you upgraded and they took a gap year, they're not gonna feel sorry for you and just be like, oh, let me just give it to them. Shame. Maximize your opportunities and apply to as much varsities as possible. One question that I got in the TikTok is which exams are harder between the finals and the May exams, the rewrites. I would say that I think they make the May exams a little bit harder, but that's because you have more time to study and, you know, focus on the specific subjects. You don't have to do 7 subjects. It's only like 1 or 2 or 3, depending on how many subjects people choose to upgrade. So I would say they are a bit harder in terms of like difficulty, but in terms of theory they should be easier because you had more time to study and like when you were at school. By the way, UP has this thing called an extended program, and I also applied for that. Extended program is when you want to study for a specific degree but you don't meet the requirements. So you apply for the extended program and then you do the degree. Let's say if the degree is 3 years, you do it in 4 years instead of 3, right? So by the way, extended programs, if you're taking a gap year, then you can't do an extended program. Extended program is only for people that are doing matric in that specific year. So I applied for the extended program at UP just in case, because you never know, and I got declined due to the reason that I took a gap year and the extended program is only available for the class of 2023, not 2022 or 2021 or whatever. I hope I'm making sense, guys. But luckily, I did get accepted into my BSc Food Science, both at Stellenbosch and UP. Obviously, guys, I chose UP because, like, I don't want to go to Cape Town. So I chose UP, and now it was time for me to start doing my bursary applications with my admission. So the nice thing about taking a gap year is that when you do your bursary applications, you already have a full-on admission. It's not like conditional offer or conditional admission. It's like a full admission statement. Because why? You applied with your NSC, unlike the current class of 2023. So they applied and they are still waiting for the NSC marks in Jan. Because I already had mine, I could already apply to bursaries with my NSC. So that's the nice thing about it. So I applied to I think 4 or 5 bursaries. All you do, guys, when you are applying for bursaries, write your degree name. So I said BSc Food Science bursaries. It gave me a list of bursaries. Check the requirements. If maybe you miss 1 or 2 of the requirements, still apply. Try your luck. I received 1 bursary last year, actually in December. They called me to tell me that I received it, and currently now I'm waiting for another response from another bursary. But yeah, that's a story for another day. So all I'm saying is that you have an advantage to apply for bursaries before the current class that's still in matric. So once you get your results and you've applied, even if you're still waiting for the university to get back to you. Start looking for bursaries and save them up so that when you get your acceptance, you apply immediately for those bursaries, because the sooner you apply for the bursary, the better. Then the last thing that I am going to cover is what did I do during my gap year. So obviously the first 4 months I didn't really do much. I was really focused on improving my physics, and then after May I took a bit of a break with not like I didn't really do much for 2 months. I was just going to like the gym and like chilling, guys. I was getting like the actual gap year where you just chill and whatever. Around June, I decided that I actually want to start a business. My mom was actually like encouraging me to do it, but I was like not sure about it for a long time. So in June, I decided to start planning for my business, and I actually have a business. I'll like put the Instagram in the description box. It's like a hamper business that I have. I'll post a few videos also somewhere around here. It's like a hamper business that I make snack hampers and seasonal hampers. So for example, during the exam time, I made like exam essential hampers. And now that Valentine's Day is coming up, I'm actually going to do a Valentine's Day hamper. So you guys should definitely check that out and buy a Valentine's Day for your best friend, your boyfriend, or even for yourself, you know. Spoil yourself, kangani, guys, or spoil someone this Valentine's Day. So yeah, I started a business in like September. From June until like September, I was organizing my business because I wanted it to be seamless. Making my logo, printing out the logo, packaging, what I'm gonna sell and everything. I wanted it to be seamless, right? And then beginning of November, I found a job for about a month. And then around December, yeah, my business was still going, and it's still going even now. So there's so many things to do during a gap year. I also like started to go to the gym more and work on my outward appearance. I went to the dermatologist, and like guys, my skin was really bad, like especially in matric, and yeah, it's looking much better already. Yeah, and I also just worked on myself, worked on my relationship with God. And I know for a fact, guys, if I went to school and started first year this year, it would have been such a total different experience. I know I wouldn't have been ready. So yeah, my message to anyone watching this who isn't sure, please pray about it and make the right decision. Don't just go to school because other people are going to school. Don't just go to school for the sake of going to school and then you're not even doing a degree that you want to do. If you want to take a gap year, strategize with your parents and say, this is what I'm going to do during my gap year. Write down a list. Don't just also like take a gap year for being lazy, you know. Yes, rest, but also be productive with your gap year. Do things you wouldn't normally do because of school, you know. So yeah, guys, that's all I have for you guys today. I really hope you enjoyed. I hope it was informative. If you have any more questions, please comment them down below, and I'll try and answer in the comments, or if necessary, I'll make a different video regarding like registering and just everything that's got to do with varsity. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, to see a change, be the change. Bye.